And so a special welcome to everybody while Claire's doing that. So I'm really tremendously grateful and extremely honored to have Claire here. So we are going to go into connecting to the archangels with Claire Stone, and with myself. So if you don't know Claire, she is a remarkable human being. She is the best-selling author of The Female Archangels, which is about reclaiming your power and about the lost teachings of the divine feminine. So I think you're going to have an extraordinarily powerful and extremely insightful show and discussion tonight. And later on, you may want to ask some questions of Claire or myself, because both of us really are here to help you reclaim the divine presence that's within you. Claire is the managing director of Claire Stone, Ancient Wisdom and Modern Woman. So she brings a tremendous wealth of experience and wisdom to this world. So I'm really, really incredibly grateful that she could take the time to be with me. I've known Claire for a while. We both have shared family stories over this coronavirus time, and it really has been a great time of awakening, great time of tremendous amount of retreat for a lot of us. So there's many of us that have taken time to really go within and search and find out deeply what is actually happening in our world. I'm sure a lot of you, like me, do not want to go back to the old ways, and we would love to be in an awakened world where we do express every day that tremendous respect and kindness for each other, for our environment, for our animals, for the air we breathe, for this incredible space that we are privileged enough to be born into. So this precious human lifetime is extremely valuable. It's a time of great wisdom, and it's a time when we can all come together and grow. So that's what this show tonight is all about. It's about connecting to the archangels and about reclaiming your power. Claire, the best-selling author of The Female Archangels, and coincidentally, both Claire and I have books out around about the same time. Kevin Shaninger and I have just published the Raising Our Vibration, which is about subtle energy meditation. So if you get the chance to check out either of those books, please do. And Claire will also be talking later on about some other surprises and some beautiful groups and communities that she has established, much in the same way as Kevin and I have. So Claire, welcome. It is truly a great joy and a privilege and an honor. And whoa, if I could give you hugs over the line, I'm like social distancing naturally through the video, but really what an honor. Thank you and welcome.
Oh, thanks so much. It's so great for us to do this again. And I was just thinking about the last time we did this. Do you remember that big massive beam of light that came on the screen?
I do.
That was awesome.
I definitely do. And look, maybe this is a wonderful point to share what happened just before. We had a few little technical hitches getting on. And while that was happening, Claire drew a card. So maybe you want to tell everybody about what happened, this beautiful piece of synchronicity because of what we'd discussed previously. And then it was almost like, oh, we are being graced. That's really what it was all about.
Yeah.
We're in the flow of grace.
Well, I asked Stephen which was his favourite archangel, and he said it was Haniel. So I said, right, I'm going to pull a card for Stephen and I just before we go live. And what did I pull? Haniel. So we said that we were thinking of doing a meditation for you all, a guided meditation, because we're leading up to full moon on Friday, and Haniel is the angel of the moon as well. And it's funny because you've just been speaking about grace as well, and Haniel's name means grace of the goddess. So, and just quickly why, before we get started, the female term for archangel is archaea. So archangel is the masculine and archaea is the feminine, but it doesn't matter. I use archangel for the divine feminine angels as well. And just to point out that we know angels are androgynous, they're above gender, but we have angels who have the qualities of the divine feminine and angels of the divine masculine, and together by uniting those energies within us, then we can attain more peace, more harmony, and hopefully spiritual enlightenment. That's what it's all about, isn't it, Stephen?
Truly, Claire, it is about spiritual enlightenment. I think, you know, as this world awakens, more and more we come into a really deep and present flow of our natural state. I think that's what this retreat time, because I'm going to call this time of the lockdown rather than a lockdown, where we could have called it retreat. You know, the retreat has given us time to really touch our deep inner presence. And what is the natural flow? What's our natural state? How do we come into effortlessness? And I know the archangels in my life certainly have been, or all the angels that I've been fortunate enough to have a direct experience of, have really taught me about that effortless state. It's often been in acts of kindness and gratitude and grace and surrender that I've touched that presence of an angel, or that I've been fortunate enough to be able to witness angels in front of people with other people. So, you know, I know you've got a wealth of experience there, and you've got this direct connection with the angels that I know you'd like to share at some point in the show. But first, what can we hear a little bit about how the book came about? Because The Female Archangels, a bestseller, a beautiful book. I've got it here on my Kindle. I absolutely adore it. So there it is, right there. Yeah, I'm really privileged to both know you, but also to know that such a, you know, in-depth background went into not only the research but your direct experience of the angels in this form. So can you tell us how the book came about, and even perhaps just going back to the origins of your connections, how did all that flower and blossom for you? How did that happen?
Well, I've always been clairvoyant and had the ability to see angels and spirits. Even when I was a child, I used to see power animals as well. And when I was very young, I thought everybody could see what I could see. It was only as I got a bit older, I realised that when I was playing with my cousins, that they couldn't actually see these beings who I was playing with. And they used to play along when we were very little, but then they kind of started thinking I was a bit strange. And, you know, I was brought up with a Christian background, and my grandparents, who I lived with when I was a child, they didn't like my psychic abilities at all. It really scared them. But so I've seen all these angels, but I don't think that I'm any different or special than anybody else, only that gift is awake within me. And I don't think that angels come to me. I just notice them and ask them a lot of questions. I'm a typical Sagittarius, curious. I want to know everything. And that's why I know so much about the angels, because I initiate conversations with them. I always ask them things. They don't come to me, oh, Claire, you have to do this and save the world. That is a load of rubbish. Everybody can communicate with angels. There's no hierarchy. It's just the fact that I notice them and continue to ask them questions. When I was 11 years old, I really wanted to know what was the meaning of life. I always wanted to know very deep questions, and I would ask those questions. So that's why I know so much. It's not because I'm a special person or anything like that. In my book, I say we're all special. So that's how it started with the angels. And then, so the angels have helped me in so many ways. As with a teenager, I had chronic anxiety and agoraphobia, couldn't even leave the house for nearly 2 years. Both my parents are alcoholics. So, you know, life was a struggle as a teenager growing up, helping to raise my sisters. So, you know, when we are suffering, when we're in pain, when we're in the darkness, that is when the light can really save us. We begin searching for that light, don't we? You know, the dark night of the soul. And that's when I started to get really, really deep with the angels and like, come on, help me out. What am I supposed to be doing here? So the angels are like my friends. I communicate with them every day. But like I said, it's because I ask. And then I started to get really interested in the divine feminine, in all the goddess stuff, and attending women's circles, red tent. I've always worked with women. Even when I was younger, I used to work at the charities, YWCA, Young Women's Charities. I've always worked in them kind of places. And then, so started meeting these angels, and I'm not going to say the new angels, because the female archangels are not new. I see it as we didn't have the eyes to perceive them because of our conditioning, because of patriarchy. You know, if you're born and you're taught that angels are masculine, which we have, the angels all have masculine names. The famous ones, Gabriel, Michael, they're all masculine names. So you wouldn't really expect, unless you're thinking outside the box, you wouldn't expect there to be any other angels. We think what we're taught when you're younger, you think what you're taught is the truth, don't we? So anyway, I started meeting these beings, and it's because I was getting very interested in healing women, healing the womb space, clearing the lineages of what I call, and other people call it, the witch wound, where the divine feminine's been suppressed. Many men and women were persecuted just for being herbalists or psychics or anything at all. So there's a lot of healing taking place on planet Earth right now. And it's the divine feminine that's rising into balance. It's not about overtaking the masculine, because the masculine is wounded as well. Every human being has the masculine and feminine, the Ida and the Pingala within us. So of course, whether you're man, woman, whatever, what your gender is, that it's got nothing to do with these energies. We're talking about these primal life force energies. And the feminine has been swept under the carpet and made us to be born fragmented. That's how I see it. We're fragmented by design, so that those in power can control us, you know, working all the time. That's being in the masculine, which is really good if you're trying to set up a business, and, you know, it's good to be your masculine, but we also need to be in our feminine. We need to trust ourselves, to rest. And that's one of the good things that this retreat has done for us. It's allowed us to step back, shift into that feminine, trusting our instincts. So now it is time for us to get to know that lost heritage that belongs to all of us, this wisdom of the divine feminine. It's all coming out now.
That's beautiful. I totally agree. This balance and this return of the divine feminine is really so present, and I think people are feeling it. That, you know, the mere fact that a retreat does actually bring you into that state of grace, and so you have to surrender because you're not at this point able to go and do the normal things you were doing in the old normal way. So there's this incredible birth, like you talked about the womb, you know, the healing. There is this incredible birth of this very graceful energy coming through, this really, you know, deep surrender to what is. And so if you want to say we've been taught a skill over these last, 12 weeks, it's about surrender. It's about letting go of all the things that we thought we had to do, all the busyness, all that sort of stress, and let's go. Suddenly everything had to stop. And there was this space. And I think the power of that space is it really does allow that feminine presence, the grace, the surrender, the extraordinary, gentle, nurturing power of the earth and the cosmos to actually begin to flow in you again. Because if you look at our planet and its technology, there's been this go all the time. So we are being asked to surrender. So for people who are listening and they think, well, okay, Claire, you had this from when you were born, but I didn't. But I really want to connect. I want to know how to ask, or I want to know how to connect. What would you say? What would you say to help them be in the same place as you, where they really feel that space of connection and they know how natural and that it is their birthright to have this connection? How would you help them?
Okay, so I always say that a relationship with an angel is exactly the same as a relationship with anybody. So if you want to get this really tight relationship where you know without a doubt that that is your angel giving you a message, then you have to put effort in. And at first, you know, if your psychic senses are not awake, so you can't hear angels, you can't see angels, then there will be still ways that angels can communicate with you. So I always say, first of all, you need an intention. So ask an angel. So whether that's your guardian angel or an archangel that you feel drawn to, invite that angel in. And we'll do an exercise after this to experience it, because experience is everything. You can read a ton of books, you can listen to me and you talking all day, but if you haven't actually experienced it for yourself, then it's not the same, is it? So always have that intention, and then keep practicing it every day. And if you feel like, sometimes people will do a meditation and they'll see things, they'll pick things up, they might feel something, even just a sense of peace, or the heart feels uplifted, they can feel a love. And very rarely, some people experience absolutely nothing at all. And that's okay as well. And I think that is partly because we've got very busy minds. So if you're not practicing meditation, then the conscious mind gets in the way and is always judging, like, nah, because the angels are very subtle. They're they're so close that they're sending us messages, and sometimes we're mistaking it for our own thinking. Sometimes an angel might say to you, walk that way today. And then you might bump into someone, you think, oh, why did I go this way? You know, and some synchronicity occurs. Often that's angels whispering in your ear, but you haven't noticed it. So for the people who never get anything at first, and I believe everyone will eventually if you practice this, it's just like you're working your psychic muscles. So I think somewhat people will develop some kind of extrasensory perception in some way. Ask your angel to leave a confirmation sign in the physical world, and they always do that, always. So if you imagine that you're inviting an angel in, you feel nothing, and then say, okay, angel, if that was you, if you're really there, please leave me a yellow rose this week, or a white feather. You can choose anything you want, but you ask that angel, you choose, and ask for it to be revealed in the external world, and then let go of it. Don't be looking, oh, is there any yellow roses there? Is there any white? Don't look at all. Drop it, let go, because when we get attached to things, we push them away. Surrender, and whatever you ask for, it will show up. It never, ever fails. So that's your confirmation that even if you're not physically feeling anything, that the angels are hearing you. So you keep talking to them. And you can also ask your angels, can you answer me in a way that I can easily understand? Some people use angel cards. That's an excellent way to get a message from an angel, like we've just done this morning. Haniel, we didn't meditate, we didn't tune in, but picked a card, and Haniel confirmed, yes, speak about me this morning.
It's so beautiful. I just love that. Yeah. So I do agree with you, you know, totally. The intention, I've always found with connecting to the angels myself, that the intention, the really deep immersion, like, as you say, to make that effort all the time, every day, and then the surrender, those three principles, you know, intention, immersion, and letting go. Because I, like yourself, I was fortunate enough to have experiences with angels from when I was very little, and my godmother was a Carmelite Mother Superior, and she and my mum trained me from birth in seeing Oriel, Gabriel, Raphael, Michael around me, close to me, from when I was born. So I always grew up thinking that was what everybody saw, and that was the reality. And so when I used to train healers some years ago, and they'd come to me burned out, and they'd say they couldn't feel things, or they'd just been psychically drained. So I used to teach them. I just say, keep the angels close. You've got to have the intention. You've got to practice it, which is the immersion, over and over and over again, so that you really do actually feel, because that feeling is so key. And then you surrender. You let them show you. You don't try to really do anything at all. You actually literally surrender and let go. So I found that, as you say, those really simple practices, intention, that effort and immersion, and that really powerful surrender and letting go are great. Now you talked about the experience. So yeah, let's give people the first experience of that. Do you want to guide people through way of connecting? I mean, is this a good time for that now? Because it feels like, and it feels very present.
Yeah, I think we should do a full moon meditation with Archangel Haniel, or Archangel Haniel, so that the watchers can get a feel of her energy, but also for those watching on replay, the full moon's on Friday, so it's perfect. Like, the energy can just simmer for the next few days. But before we do that, would you just tell me, why is Haniel your favorite angel? What experience have you had with her energy? And do you perceive Haniel as feminine energy or masculine energy?
Oh, wonderful questions. Yeah, so there was, as I said to you, I had this really strong association with the four, often the four archangels that are referred to, Ariel, Gabriel, Raphael, Michael. And over the years, I tuned into them, and that was basically my core foundation. And then maybe in my late teens, I really strongly tuned into Metatron. And even now, that fifth angel was really strongly part of my presence and my awareness, and especially when I meditated and I was able to go up into the light and feel the light of those heavenly halls. It was Metatron that I connected to, and I could feel that so strongly. So I was in my, what would have been in probably about my 30s, I suppose, and I was in the US, and I went to I think it was a Trader Joe's store. It was in San Francisco, and I think it was San Francisco. Anyway, it was a while ago. And I was in the store, came out with an armful of groceries, and I saw a girl in the gutter crying, and she asked me what had gone on, and I spoke to her for a little while, and I just told her about my day, and I said, "What's up with you?" And she said, "Look, I'm homeless. My parents don't have jobs, and we got no food." And I was carrying these 2 huge bags of groceries, for a week. And I said, "Oh, take them." I said, if you've got problems here, hopefully I can help you a day. Take it. And she just looked at me, like this. Suddenly, there was just this presence. Oh, Claire, it was the most overwhelming, beautiful, grateful presence of grace, like exactly that we were speaking about. There was a presence of, it was a very tall presence of light. I could literally feel it, or I still feel it now. All the hairs on the back of my head went up. And the girl in the gutter looked up at me, and she was completely awestruck. And I looked over my shoulder, and I could feel this beautiful, you asked me, this beautiful feminine presence, this incredible feeling of grace. Like I'd never felt it before in my life. The most absolutely, I couldn't, I'm wordless, you can see. So, and she said, "It's an angel." I mean, she was, we were both just standing there, and it's so wonderful when it's witnessed, you just know, and you feel all the things that you've seen, like you did as a child or as a teenager, that I could see. Here was somebody who obviously perhaps had not seen an angel before, able to see it. And the name was Haniel. I hadn't heard Haniel before. And this presence just spoke. It's not like a word. It's like you just feel the word. So I was just amazed. I just felt this presence, and the vibration was this set of letters that made Haniel, and it was the most beautiful sound. I mean, it was like music. So this young girl was like, and she just started to weep. and I was just stock still. I couldn't move. I was, and this presence just gave us both. I mean, it's just, you just know you're home. You know, there's no fear. There's nothing you have to do. Everything's done. There's this extraordinary protection when you reach out to it. So, and the girl. So after that, the girl just stood up. I could tell she's probably, to this day, she was probably shaken by that experience. And I was really terribly moved, you know, in the most gorgeous, deep, profound way. And from that day onwards, Haniel came to me. So the Archangel Haniel came in and out of my life at different times. And my wife has experienced her here in Japan. We had different times when things would happen in our house. Time would stop, as it's done over numerous occasions, like clocks would stop, lights would flicker, all manner of sounds. We even had at one point sounds traveling through the house, which, you know, to be fair to my poor wife, did freaked out a little bit. And my daughter's, you know, if clocks stop, my daughter notices it. She comes up and says, Dad, it's an emergency. The clocks have stopped. Time stopped. You know? And it's always in, like, as you said, it's always in a synchronous field with lots of other things that are happening right at that time for me or a number of other people. So I felt incredibly graced by this presence of Haniel, and she is a feminine energy as she appears to me, and it's very, you know, it's very palpable, real, and it's like nothing on earth. It's an unearthly presence in that sense, and totally protected. I couldn't want for any. It's wordless, timeless, nameless presence. You really understand that the angelic presence is a core channel for the divine source, because they touch you in this way. And as you said, I feel everybody has this ability, and to be able to connect with that homeless girl in that moment where she could witness that with me it's a gift beyond words. I'll remember it till the day I pass on from this life. It was just, I'm sure Haniel will be there. You know, you can see tears come, because I know it. You can feel that protection and that really pure feeling of home. So yes, that's one of those. I've had a number of experiences of angels over the years, but that was a particularly poignant and a really, really, as you said, very subtle and extraordinary grace. If I have to put grace into words, Haniel did that for me for this lifetime. So I'm extremely grateful to it.
Yeah. Well, when I first met Haniel, she was actually an angel who I hadn't met before. And I literally found her on the internet, and I was like, oh, who is this Haniel? And Haniel, what I had been reading was describing Haniel as a masculine angel. So when I did the meditation and she came in, that it was like a nice surprise. It was like, oh, so, you know, that just goes to show that anyone can connect to an angel, because as well, an angel, you can call upon an angel's, its essence or spirit, whatever you want to call that, by calling its name, because your name is actually a vibration of your soul signature as well, isn't it, Stephen?
Absolutely. So true. So you, yeah. I think the power, you know, the power of words and I mean, we know it from mantra, and we know it from lots of power symbol, the way that a word uttered can actually really touch that space in the quantum field. It actually goes beyond what we think. That's why, you know, when people use speech, we've got to really realize and respect the power of words. And when you really respect that, then you start to understand how mystery schools of the past have used invoking to, you know, invoke an angel. Because I, like yourself, you know, I was part of a mystery school when I was very young, and the core of that mystery school was their angelic invocations. So I learned a lot of them when I was very young, and you know, they work. When you really, it comes back to your point you made about intention. When your intention is really pure and very clear, and very, very simple and childlike. You know, a lot of my life has been devoted to the lives of the saints. I adore them, and their lives are very childlike. So when you get in that state, I was going to say, if you add childlike presence to your intention, then that subtlety that allows you to connect with the angels is still very present.
And I love the quote by Wayne Dyer, have a mind open to everything and closed to nothing. And that is a childlike, not expecting anything, because when you expect something, that's the ego that's expecting it. So it is that feminine of surrendering and the childlike just of expectation and wonder and curiosity. So it's being in those states that are going to help you to really receive and get the most out of it. But I was thinking, you know, that little invocation that you're talking about that you've done since a child, do you fancy doing that? And then
Sure.
I will
leading into
that, and then I'll lead straight into a meditation with Haniel.
Oh, I just adore that. Yeah. So I've been I love doing this with you because you know, we never quite know where it's going to lead, and these are beautiful ones. So this will be brief, but I'm going to ask you to place your wherever. If you're driving the car, probably you'd want to stop and pull over, because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes in a minute. And if you're seated, that's fine, and if you're lying down, that's fine. And I'll get you to place your feet flat on the floor and your hands gently resting in your lap. Your spine is straight, as if there's a string pulling your head up towards the ceiling. And you gently close your eyes. So as you close your eyes, you become very aware of the light in the heart. Because there's a light in your heart, like a bliss seed, that attracts the angelic consciousness. So as you tune into your heart, you allow your heart to be very gentle and subtle and pure and like a child. And you can do this in an easy way by breathing in a soft, gentle breath. And as you exhale, make the exhalation longer, pure, gentle, so subtle. It's like filled with innocence. Second breath in. And then as you breathe out, a long exhalation. And you start to fill your heart with gratitude. Third breath in. As you breathe out, that deep gratitude for all it is. And a fourth breath. As you breathe in, fill yourself with gratitude. And as you breathe out, fill yourself with love for all beings. It's like you can feel a light shining out from your heart to all living beings. And those living beings all turn that light in their hearts back to you, and they radiate light to you. So this bliss seed, this light in your heart, is brilliant. It's like a pure consciousness that the angels can feel. And you can feel this running up the central tube of your body, which is called a sushumna, just inside the spine. And as Claire mentioned, the Ida and Pingala to the left and right, the male and female. You can feel these energies running in your body, running up through the crown, as if they're extending an infinite direction above and an infinite direction below. And then my godmother and my mother used to ask me to pray deeply in that heart of a child, to be surrounded and protected and loved by the angels. So in front of you, feel the presence of Oriel close, closer than close, as if this presence of light is actually touching that seed of light in your heart. And then to the right, Gabriel. You can feel this presence to your right. It's this presence of light. It's the presence of angelic consciousness, so close at hand, closer than close. And your intention is to connect deeply. And then behind you, Raphael. Feel this energy, this light of God, of Source, pressing into your back, as if the energy is keeping you so safe and warm and comforted, as if you're lit from above and below. And then to the left, Michael. So you're surrounded by these four angels, by this angelic consciousness. They're so close, closer than close. And your intention is pure and childlike. You expect nothing. And you're immersed in that angelic love. And you surrender. You let go completely and allow now their light and love from all four sides to merge with you. It's as if you're awake in that angelic consciousness and merged and one. Protected, safe, home, at one with the presence of the angels.
And then bringing your awareness back to Uriel stood in front of you, and you notice that Uriel's divine feminine aspect coming through, Archaea Aurora steps in to maintain balance with the masculine energies protecting you. And at your right hand side, with Archangel Gabriel, you feel the presence of his feminine twin ray angel, Archaea Hope. And behind you, side by side, stands Raphael and Archaea Mary. And to the left, with Archangel Michael, is the Lady Faith. And these angelic energies unite, completing you, surrounding you from every direction. And the energies begin to swirl around you, encasing your aura in a ball of light all around you, healing you, uplifting you, allowing you to connect to the true angel within your own heart, your own sacred divine voice within, connecting to that now. Receive this upliftment and protection. Just breathing in deeply, you may see colours, you may feel peace and love surrounding you. And bring your awareness to the third eye chakra, just between the eyebrows. And this area may begin to tingle. And in your mind's eye, you look up towards a beautiful dark night sky. And in this dark sky, thousands of stars twinkle. Each of these stars representing angels, ancestors, all of the beings that surround you, that love you, and are rooting for you. They are here in the times when you cannot see them, when you need them the most. They are always here. And in this night sky, you see a beautiful pink full moon, the rose moon, and a stream of silvery light begins to emerge from the full moon, streaming down towards your third eye chakra. And just allow your third eye to be basked in this feminine, loving energy of the moonlight, clearing away the veils of separation, enhancing your intuition and your ability to perceive your angel, your ability to receive your angel, and a beautiful silhouette of an angelic being begins to descend from the moon. Archangel Haniel, Archangel Haniel, Archangel Haniel. Say her name 3 times and invite this magnificent, graceful, pure being of light. Invite her into your presence. And she has her own aura bubble surrounding her. And if it feels good, just allow Haniel's bubble to just slightly overlap with yours so that your auras are slightly overlapping, like a beautiful infinity symbol. Breathing deep. And just be open to receiving her energy. And if you have an intention or a question, then ask Haniel now. Ask her what you would like to know about. What would you like to manifest under the Sagittarius full moon? The moon that brings in fresh new energies, passion. How can Haniel help you today? And she pulls out a beautiful crystal, clear quartz crystal jug of water. And you slightly tilt your head up towards the moon one more time. And she pours this holy, cleansing water over your head as if she is anointing you and initiating you. Initiate means to begin into the realm of the angelics, blessing your third eye so that you can see your angels, so that you will notice the subtle, very subtle messages of wisdom and love. From this day forth, set the intention that you will clearly see messages and guidance from the angels of light. And you're feeling refreshed and cleansed and reborn ready to embrace life, to embrace this life, because it is so precious, and you understand what gift we receive each morning just by waking up, having another shot at life. We're so blessed. And if you're feeling inclined to do so, just allow Haniel to step behind you, fully in your aura now, and let her enfold you in her beautiful, fluffy white wings, caressing you, clearing your energy channels, the meridians within your body with each stroke of her wings. She aligns you with the angel within. And she comes to stand in front and looks directly in your eyes. And she may give you a message. Trust the first thing that came to mind as you see Haniel now ascending back towards the moon. And just imagine the third eye chakra gently closing over. You could perceive it as a crystal doorway or a flower closing down, closing the door until you are ready to have this connection again in your own time, becoming aware of your physical body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Rub your hands together and just place them over your eyes. Take a deep breath in and open your eyes when you're ready. Coming back into the here and now. That was nice.
Yeah, thank you. That was so incredibly beautiful. Thank you deeply. That was such a blessing. The words I got, which I've had from Haniel all these years, were grace and surrender. Grace and surrender. They're always, it's the same vibration. So really, so many blessings and deep, deep thanks for all that you shared. It was just truly, truly wonderful. Beautiful.
Thank you. And just to finish off, I would just like to share with you guys a few of Haniel's calling cards. So, you know, again, if you don't see angels, things to look out for when she is around: unicorns. She very often has unicorns coming in with her, and of course wolves. Wolves are affiliated with the moon, and her sacred number is 10. So you may see your receipt is £10.10. So they're just little things to look out for. You may see sparks of light in your peripheral vision. You may just sense this deep peace coming through. You can even reconnect to her by asking to meet her in your dreams, because she's the angels of the dream time, of lucid dreaming, astral projection. Her crystal is moonstone. You could treat yourself, get a nice moonstone, pop it under the pillow, and invite her in and see what happens. And I always tell everybody to write everything down, because when you look back, you'll think, oh, I'd forgotten about that. That was a miracle. So that's everything I want to say about Haniel now, Stephen.
Oh, Claire, thank you. You know, you remind me, I'm a very avid lucid dreamer and dreamer generally, and I had dreams of being a Tibetan monk from when I was 2 until when I was 3. And last night, before this, before our special connection here, I had a dream that a master, a Buddhist master, who you might know, called Jack Cornfield, gave me 120,000 crescent moons. It was it was such a profound dream. It was so clear. I mean, it was like I woke up and I thought, oh, the full moon, the full moon is coming. So I'm obviously been given a sign. So 120,000 crescent moons. It was such a crystal, and it was so filled with this awe. I mean, you've mentioned it before, awe and wonder. My life is constantly filled with awe and wonder. So speaking of wonder and awe, you might want to say a few words about the Angel Mystery School and what you're developing in terms of community, because Kevin and I have done the same thing with our Raising Our Vibration community that you can find on Facebook. So please share about the Angel Mystery School and what you're doing in that light.
Yeah, so Angel Mystery School, I offer online courses. So there's one, Angel Communication, to help you to receive messages from your angels, from your guardian angel. And then I've got a membership, which is for 13 months long membership, because 13 is the number of the divine feminine. There's 13 full moons in a year. It's a very sacred number. So yeah, Angel Mystery School, it's actually, the doors are closed at the moment, but it's going to be opening back up for enrollment in September. And we work with one angel a month. We have a live masterclass, you get a guided meditation and a big PDF, what I've wrote about that angel as well. So that's Angel Mystery School. That's if you want to get really deep and experience more of the angels in your life.
Oh, beautiful. Look, thank you for that. And similarly, if you want to find out about Kevin Shaninger and my work, you can find us on Raising Our Vibration community, or you can look for the book Raising Our Vibration on Amazon. So can you give people direct details on how to connect with you, and maybe some up and coming courses other than the Angel Mystery School, or even up and coming talks, anything that's current that people might like to connect more with you on?
So my Facebook page is Clarestone, Ancient Wisdom Modern Woman. Instagram, Clarestone444. If you want to find my website, just type in Clarestone and my website will come up straight away. The book is called The Female Archangels, Reclaim Your Power with the Lost Teachings of the Divine Feminine. It's available on Hay House, Amazon, so you can get that everywhere. And upcoming events, what have I got? I'm so chilled off Haniel now.
That's beautiful. You surrender enough, right? And the events come to you. I mean, that's certainly what I'm finding with the up and coming thing. We seem to get given and gifted these beautiful events in terms of grace. And actually, I must, after this, just remind me, something has jogged my memory that I wanted to invite you to if you're free to come. So I do think that there's such a remarkable connection with all people at this moment. We've been really, guided to connect so deeply with each other through these virtual means that I think there's such incredible opportunities. So I know Claire does lots of talks and all the other things.
Oh yeah, I've just remembered. I'm so relaxed. I'm speaking at Hay House Ignite in London on the 28th of November. All my other events are currently on hold because I like doing a lot of in-person events. I've got stuff in the UK and in Ireland. But yeah, I have a monthly newsletter, and if anyone's interested in any online stuff that I do, once a month I have a Facebook Live called Mystical Conversations, and we talk about everything: astral projection, lucid dreaming. It's not just exclusively angels, it's anything spiritual. That's the last Friday of every month. So if you want to head over, subscribe to my newsletter, it's once a month, and you will find out everything what is going on in the upcoming month. So yeah, head there.
Thank you, Claire. Well, even though I'd love to take people's questions, I think we're right at the point where we agreed this was a good time to conclude. So, well, look, once again, blessings, deep gratitude for Haniel's presence. I really felt that extraordinary. I just absolutely, I'm lost for words, because I'm just so in love with connecting like that. And so I do encourage everybody to remember what Claire said about the intention and about the effort and that constant repetition or immersion in your practice of connecting with the angels. I do, and surrendering. It's just such a bit, you could apply those same principles to life, and you would be flowing in that flow state of the divine flow, which is where we all naturally and effortlessly can be. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Stephen, and it's been a pleasure as usual, and we should definitely do this again. We should do another angel sometime soon.
I would just love that. So grace and blessings and much love always, and love to your family and all your loved ones at this time. I truly want to reach out with my heart to all people. So thank you.
Yeah, and thanks everybody who's watching this live and on the replay.
Yeah. We're very grateful to all of you. So connect with the angels, help our world, and live in presence and grace and love.